let's improve Universus Spotlight. So, for those of you who are unaware or have only ever played Standard and Retro, Universus Spotlight is a self-contained event where you can only play cards from a singular IP. The biggest ones being My Hero Academia Spotlight and Attack on Titan Spotlight. However, I have heard rumblings of Yu Hakusho Spotlights going around, and that other spotlights are still viable, but everyone in an event is playing from a singular IP. And in a game which is designed around multiple IPs, cohesion of those IPs, it feels oddly restricting. Now, we did see at, say, Albuquerque that the Attack on Titan Spotlight event was quite big, and that could be down to the fact there was Apocalypse release weekend, so this was people's first opportunity to play with Apocalypse in a tournament style. We have seen My Hero Academia Spotlights being played quite a bit, but the events are still quite small, and often you have to choose one or the other because the Spotlight events kind of go off together, or they're limited to on-demand 8-person events, which can often never fire because people want to play with other cards. So I was discussing this with some people, and I had an idea. A way to improve Spotlight, you might say. So rather than limiting it to a singular IP, rather than going, in this event, you have to play My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, Yu Hakusho. Instead, we're playing Universus Spotlight, and it is going to be your deck must contain all of an IP. Similar to the Challenger series, where you have to play a Challenger deck, and that has to be an exact 1-for-1 of the deck list of the Challenger. In Universus Spotlight, you may come up against other IP decks. Every single one of those decks is going to be a self-contained IP. So if you see a Younger to Go, you know that this is going to be entirely Yu Hakusho. If you see a Kaminari or a Kirishima, you know it's all going to be My Hero Academia. If you see a Mikasa or a Flock or a Pike or a Peak, you know it's all going to be Attack on Titan. And that is kind of my point with it. This opens up to bigger events. It means that more people get to play. On-demand events are going to fire quicker, and you get some more diversified gameplay. You get to see how Attack on Titan does against My Hero Academia. And some people might be saying, no, that just sounds like Union Arena, and maybe it does. I don't know, I've never played it, but I know that you are locked to a single IP when building your deck. But, you know, it's nothing new under the sun. Just because this card game has it as its main idea doesn't mean we can't run it as a side event. It's not our main goal, it's not where people are going to be getting world's points or becoming world's champions in it, but it's a great way to expand on a community format, allowing people to celebrate the IP that they want, and can also be worked as like a bridging gap into retro and other community formats. Being able to have Attack on Titan going up against MHA Set 1 against original UU will be a great kind of dipping your toes in the water, taking on retro characters, playing a bit of retro yourself in terms of the UU and the My Hero Academia Spotlight decks, and seeing how, say, 1.3 million volts does up against Falling Titans, and be able to establish a stronger meta ban list. And just, to me, it feels a bit like a slam dunk of a decision to just go, instead of limiting the event to an IP, you limit a single deck to an IP. You go, all your cards in your deck have to be at a single IP. Yes, you can use reprints if you want to get cheeky and you want to do Mortal Kombat cards in a Critical Role deck. If you want to use Critical Role cards in a My Hero deck, sure, go for it. Use your reprints. It's what the whole point of the game is. And you can be a bit cheeky going, I have some non-IP cards in there, but it was still printed in there, so it's fine. But it'll lead to fun interactions, which is what Universe is all about. It'll lead to cool card combinations we haven't seen before, which is something we haven't seen. And we'll get to see how these IPs play against each other from a self-contained aspect. This is something we've never really done in the game outside of, say, Challenger. But Challengers are all kind of meant to be designed at their equal power level. being able to throw down a Mina 1 into a flock or a peak could be very cool. It'd be a great way to see this kind of interactions. And it's just something like with Godzilla coming up, and we have other sets coming up that I've got other products in there. I would love to be able to see a Godzilla with all the new stuff going up against a Armored Titan, and it just allows these on-demand events, these on-demand spotlight events, to fire faster. It allows people to have more options as to side events they want to do, and it allows people to play the decks they want to and cook around these decks a bit more consistently. I don't know if that is made any kind of sense, but to me, it's just how I would improve Universus Spotlight. Rather than having the event itself be contained to a single IP, you contain the decks to a single IP and have them face off against each other. I think it'd be more fun. I think it means that side events and these tournaments will fire faster, and I just think people would have a lot more fun with it. But let me know in the comments below, is that something you'd be interested in trying? Is it a change that you hadn't even considered? What are your suggestions to make Spotlight a little bit more popular and mainstream? I will catch you all at game night, and have a great week. Bye.